You know, it's a weird time to be like speculating and theorizing on Nintendo news when we're getting this excited over the announcement of a release date for some remakes. But I don't care, I'm excited anyway. I always love hyping up stuff. Hello there everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Games and today we have a new tweet from the legendary insider himself, Pyoro. They have graced us with some new information regarding a potential announcement upcoming soon for Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, as well as Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. But today, I want to talk about not just that, but we will cover that of course. I want to also talk about the potential of more Mario to come, maybe this week also. Let's get into it. Alright, so for the past like 2 or 3 weeks here, I've been saying that because we got a partner showcase in February, we would likely get a release date for maybe Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, or both Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2 in like early March, you know, before Princess Peach Showtime comes out. That way they will have another major release after Princess Peach Showtime. I know we have Endless Ocean Luminous, but a more, let's say, tentpole title for Nintendo fans to look forward to. And I mean, maybe one of these games could even come out before Endless Ocean. We'll talk about that as well. So I was already expecting at least one of these games to get a release date in early March. And it seems like that exact thing will be happening because Pyoro quote tweeted No Context Super Mario over on Twitter, where they were kind of joking, being like, hey, Nintendo, I think it would be really awesome and cool if you dropped more news about this on March 10th, and attached is an image of the Thousand Year Door logo. And the reason they say March 10th is because of March 10th, when you put MAR for March and then 10, it's Mario Day. And Nintendo likes to celebrate Mario Day. We've actually seen this in years prior where, you know, I think it was just last year they released that like new Mario Choose One bundle for the Switch. I think Lego Mario was announced on Mario Day. So they do like to do Mario related announcements and kind of press junkets and stuff for Mario Day. Usually not full game announcements or like new information on like their core Mario titles, but like the brand as a whole, they like to do stuff for Mario Day. So the idea that we'll get some sort of new announcements this week isn't that unusual. I mean, we usually get something, even if it is small, like Mario's on Lunchables now, guys. But we had that tweet from No Context Super Mario, and Pyoro just quote tweeted it this morning saying, Mario Day falls on a Sunday this year, but... And then they followed up with another tweet saying, also this one. You know, they know we know. Pyoro knows that we know what that means. Pyoro is clearly hinting or saying that they know of a Paper Mario Thousand Year Door update or trailer this week, but also Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. And just to further solidify, they also liked a tweet here saying, do we have news soon? They just liked that tweet. And Pyoro has used likes in the past to kind of point us in the right direction when it comes to their teasing. So I would say it is pretty clear we were getting Paper Mario Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2 news within the next week. Now, the question is, when? Pyoro's initial tweet says Mario Day falls on a Sunday this year, but so that kind of implies like maybe a Sunday event or trailer drops for these two games. But that would be really weird because Sunday is a weekend, and it's not impossible for Nintendo to do things on a weekend, but I feel like there has to be more if it's on a Sunday. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like if it were just Thousand Year Door and LM2, they would do trailers throughout this week, like maybe even like tomorrow when I'm posting this video, or Wednesday or something, and then kind of lead up to Mario Day with individual trailers. But if it's happening on Sunday, that almost tells me like there's an event of some kind, maybe a direct. I'm not going to necessarily say I'm predicting this, but I do want to talk about the possibility of maybe it's not just these two games we're getting news on this week. Maybe Nintendo has an entire like Nintendo Direct, Mario Direct planned for Mario Day. They've never done a Mario Day Direct, at least to my knowledge, not off the top of my head. I don't think that's ever happened. And as I mentioned earlier, they don't even normally have announcements related to their core game titles in early March, because normally we get that Direct in February. But this year is very different. Everything that we know is off the table. We got a partner showcase in February. We're hearing about a general Nintendo Direct maybe happening in April. And I would say that kind of contradicts the idea of a Mario Day Direct. But I can't really see why they would just post Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2 trailers on Sunday, if that is what Pyoro's hinting at. Maybe that's not necessarily what they mean with their tweet, but that's kind of what it reads like to me. And I could also just be totally wrong. Maybe they will just post these two trailers on a Sunday for some reason, but I feel like they would just do it during the week. Like I went back and checked the press release for when they announced the Mario Choose One bundle last year, that was on March 2nd, like leading up to Mario Day. Although I guess maybe that was a little bit different because I believe that was in stores for Mario Day. So I guess no announcements this week that'll maybe end up being like on store shelves by the 10th. But let's talk about this potential Mario Direct here. That once again, just want to say I'm not actually expecting this, but this is like pie in the sky. Like, you know, I'm shooting my shot. This is the hopes and dreams moment here for Mario fans. I know we've gotten a lot of Mario over the past year or so, but I don't know. Let's just talk about what we could see, because I was already expecting a lot of Mario to happen in 2024 before this potential Switch 2 delay, before the revelation that we might not be getting a Pokemon game this year. Like, I was already expecting even more Mario on top of what we already have. So there are several things here that I think would totally make sense based on development timelines, based on how these developers normally release games, and just based on, I don't know, it kind of feels like it's time to see some of these things. So first up and foremost, we have Princess Peach Showtime. I made a tweet, I forgot to mention this one in it because this game is so soon, but they would absolutely show it, and I would definitely expect something else for this game to happen within the next week or so. Maybe an overview trailer with a demo dropping. If it's a Mario Direct, I think a demo would be the smartest thing they could do for this. Princess Peach Showtime got decent previews, but I feel like they still need to sell a lot of people on what this game really is. I know they've shown a lot of it, but I feel like they need to show a little bit more to really entice people. And an overview trailer with a demo, there's no better way to do it than that. And then we have the release dates or new trailers for the other games here. Thousand Year Door, totally getting a release date this week. Luigi's Mansion 2, totally getting a release date this week. I guess the main question with these two is, which one comes first? The wording in the trailers would lead you to believe that Luigi's Mansion is first because it says summer 2024 in the announcement trailer, right? But a lot of people seem to think that Thousand Year Door might come sooner, and I might agree. Like, I think that is possible. Before Endless Ocean was announced, I was thinking, oh, maybe Thousand Year Door is April. But I feel like we might just not be getting an April game this year, or if we do, it'd be like a shadow drop in the next Nintendo Direct. We're already planning ahead. So yeah, I'm not too sure which one would come first, but I do think they'll both come out, let's say maybe by July. I think in my initial 2024 predictions, I actually put Thousand Year Door as September. That just feels way too late, but if the Switch 2 was delayed, then maybe they'll kind of push it a little bit if they weren't planning on releasing it then and have it more as a holiday title. But at the same time, Luigi's Mansion 2, I know people don't want to hear this, Luigi's Mansion 2 is going to sell better than this game, so I feel like that would make more sense to kind of prop up as like a holiday game, one of their big holiday releases if they don't have much else going on this year. And if either of these games have any substantial new content, this will absolutely be the time and place to show it. I think for Thousand Year Door, we've talked about like maybe some sort of new side story adventure mode. You know, we saw those with the Mario and Luigi remakes on the 3DS. I think something like that for Thousand Year Door isn't out of the realm of possibility. And then for Luigi's Mansion 2, I'm not sure what like new content they would add, but I do think a co-op Luigi mode is a surefire thing to expect. They added it to the 3DS remake of 1, Luigi's Mansion 3 has co-op with Luigi. I feel like Luigi's Mansion 2 getting co-op with Luigi is just like a full circle moment. That almost has to happen. But then we get into the unknown. So Luigi's Mansion, already talking about it. I've talked about this in other videos. I actually made a tweet yesterday, like most wanted Switch game. Please, Nintendo, I'm begging you, if you are going to do a lazy year in 2024, give me Luigi's Mansion 1 on the eShop. Just give me a Mario Direct, and then right after just be like, you can go play Luigi's Mansion 1 if you pre-order Luigi's Mansion 2 or something along those lines. Because we saw, and I didn't make a video on this, we saw a lot of people kind of revolting at the idea of paying $60 for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD last week when the pre-orders went up on GameStop. Maybe you spruce that package up a little bit with a pretty basic port like Pikmin 1 and 2 last year, a pretty basic port of the first Luigi's Mansion game. I don't think they can sell it on their own, but bundling it with Luigi's Mansion is a surefire way to make that package look a little bit more appealing. And this would also just continue the trend of GameCube games getting ported to the Switch, and Luigi's Mansion, I mean, that's an iconic GameCube game, even if it's not everybody's cup of tea. You know, that's a launch title, it's just so iconic, like, and then we would have all 3 Luigi's Mansion games on Switch, which would just be perfect. So I really hope we see Luigi's Mansion 1 come to the Switch. Maybe right now isn't the time, but I'm optimistic to say the least. But then beyond that, there are still more games to talk about. I've been saying it's time for a new Camelot game, and I mean, that's not really just me saying it. Like, based on how often Camelot releases their Mario sports games, if they don't release a game in June, this will be the longest gap between Camelot games. It is possible they're saving like a new Mario Tennis or something for the next console, but I've always said the idea of maybe we get a Mario Sports Ultra Mix, some sort of new Mario Sports compilation game. We saw it with the Wii with Mario Sports Mix. We saw it on the 3DS with Mario Sports Superstars. I think some sort of new Mario Sports mix game. It makes a lot of sense this year. Lower budget title. They can reuse a lot of assets from Tennis Aces, Super Rush, as well as Mario Strikers from Next Level. So that's 3 of your sports right there. You only need to add like 2 more and then some new characters or something. You don't even need to do like post-launch content. Like, this is going to be a pretty budget release, but a new Mario Sports game for the summer, I feel like makes sense, but maybe they just want to save up for Mario Tennis and have a big Mario Tennis game on the Switch 2 next year. That would honestly probably be the better case scenario, but we'll see there. The next one I don't think would be announced here, but maybe it could be. We're also, similar to Camelot's development timeline, expecting a new Mario Party this year. Mario Party has been announced in June during the E3 Directs during the Switch era, so 2018 E3, Super Mario Party, 2021 E3, Mario Party Superstars. Is it time we see a new Mario Party? Like I said, I think it's probably too early, but if they do want to do like a big Mario showcase here for Mario Day, and the rest of their year is going to be weird because of Switch 2 marketing, maybe you do announce it now. Maybe you announce it a little bit early. And I think this is actually really exciting because I like Super Mario Party, not as much as Mario Party Superstars. I mean, Mario Party Superstars is fan-freaking-tastic, but we haven't gotten like a new Mario Party since 2018, like a truly new Mario Party. So to see what ND Cube will do with a new game with new boards, new mini games and all that, like, that is really exciting to me. And I'm really curious to see what they do with the next Mario Party, but maybe it's too soon for that. And then this final game here, shooting a shot for my boy Abram Buhner, 2D Donkey Kong. Not technically Mario, but it's Mario, right? They can show a 2D Donkey Kong game in a Mario Direct. And frankly, if we got all of these games, that would basically fill up the calendar. You would maybe have like a Fire Emblem 4 remake announced on Twitter, and then boom, your lineup saved. I know it's not like the most exciting games. It's not a lot of these like smaller tier Mario spinoffs, but this would certainly fix the quantity issue of 2024. But yeah, a 2D Donkey Kong game is something that has been rumored and talked about for a long time. I think it's one of the most glaring omissions at this point from the Switch's lineup in terms of original games. Of course, we have Tropical Freeze, but an original Donkey Kong game on Switch, this would be their big holiday game. I mean, this and maybe Metroid Prime 4, if that is a game that exists and is coming out this year, which I do think it will. But 2D Donkey Kong, I mean, it just depends on who's making it. You know, if it's being done internally at Nintendo, who knows how long they've been doing it. There's been rumors about it since, I think, like 2021, like early 2021. So maybe it's time for that. Maybe they're saving it for Switch 2. Maybe it doesn't exist at all. But if they are going to push the Switch 2 to next year, they have to have something this year. And a 2D Donkey Kong game, while not to the scale and the excitement levels of a Mario Wonder, you know, it won't be a huge sales success in that regard. 2D Donkey Kong games have traditionally been positioned as big holiday games. Country Returns on the Wii was their big holiday game that year on the Wii, and Tropical Freeze was originally going to release holiday 2013, but got pushed to February. So, you know, Donkey Kong, while it's not as big as Mario, it does still sell like millions and millions of copies. So a new 2D Donkey Kong game this year to really kind of have a bigger game for the holiday would make a lot of sense if we're not getting a Pokemon game, and God forbid if Metroid Prime 4 doesn't come out this year. And then since we're here, we might as well mention a couple of the other things they can show in a potential Mario Day Direct. Lego Mario, there's always more Lego Mario stuff coming out. They just released the Animal Crossing sets, but more Lego Mario stuff, more Donkey Kong expansion stuff at Universal. They're building that expansion. I think is it done or something? I'm not actually positive. I don't follow the Universal stuff too much, but they're making that Donkey Kong expansion to Super Nintendo World in Japan. Maybe they could have an update on that. And then finally, the more exciting thing is maybe Miyamoto just comes out and says, hey guys, Mario movie came out, you know, a year ago, almost to the month. We're making Mario movie 2, and like it's, you know, very, very like, you know, brief details like, hey, we're working with Illumination again, and Mario movie 2 is coming out. Maybe obviously no release window because movies take a long time to make, but just confirmation. And actually, I had predicted this year that we would see confirmation of Mario movie 2, but I was expecting it more from like an investor meeting kind of thing, like, oh, they're just gonna kind of confirm it in a press release. But maybe that's something that Miyamoto wants to announce in a big way in a Mario Day Nintendo Direct. And now that I've gotten all that hype out of my system, I'm gonna level it down here, because the reality is we're probably just getting Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2, but I wanted to speculate, like, best case scenario here, like, what could happen on Mario Day for a potential announcements for Mario this week. Even just Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2, and like I said, maybe like a Princess Peach Showtime overview trailer, like, that's enough for me. That's enough to get me through if we are getting a Direct in April, but really just give me Luigi's Mansion 1, Nintendo. That's really what I'm asking for here, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you believe Pyoro? I mean, Pyoro is pretty much undeniable at this point, but are you excited, I guess I should say, for the Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2 trailers later this week? Do you think it'll be on Sunday, or do you think they might do it on, like, on Thursday or Friday ahead of the weekend? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo Switch news, reviews, coverage. I posted a 4-hour video yesterday going over my entire Nintendo Switch collection, so grab some popcorn and go watch that. I'd really appreciate it. But until next time, folks, peace!